this is Noreen from Joy Cards, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Yay! For more of my Stampin' Up! Card videos, click that little subscribe button and the bell, and you'll be notified when my videos come out. So, today I'm going to show you my Advent calendar. Isn't it cute? Watch now. I know it's hard to tell because my camera's facing down on my glass here, but it actually stands up. It also has a backing to it. I don't want to show you without having all the boxes fall out, but that's the back of it too, and it's got this nice little border trim on it. And I got this idea from when I got the suite for Santa Express in the mini catalog. It's the July to December. Oh, by the way, the January, and I'm assuming to June, mini catalog comes out, and of course January. But the mailer, the auto mailer for demonstrators, is due at the end of November. So if you're a demonstrator, you got to get in your mailer before November 30th. Or if you want a catalog from me, go ahead and email me, Noreen@joyofcards.com, and I'll put you on my mailing list so you get the new one. Anyway, but this suite came with everything here. It came with the die, the stamp, the embossing folders. It came out with this trim, the stars, which are awesome. I have been using these to death. These were a good thing. Also, cards and envelopes, and this other thing, they call it the Memories and More card pack. And what it is a lot of people do that little, it's kind of like a mini scrapbook album. And so the Memories and More are little cards and everything you can use for an album. But I don't scrapbook anymore because I had a dear friend of mine, or I thought was dear, to do something completely unthinkable. And now I can't scrapbook anymore. The whole thought of it just disturbs me. But anyway, I part of that Memory and More pack came out with these numbers. And I'm looking at these cards and everything because it has like, look at these. They have inserts that say Holly Jolly, and you can write on them. They have this right here, the window. They also have these laser cut pieces that you can take a blending pen and then color of them and punch them out. So like I colored these two down here, and you turn them over and you punch them out. And then you can put them on your cards or whatever. And I thought that this was a really good idea for making this Advent. So you also have some stickers in here. I've used some of those. I mean, there's really quite an abundance of things that you can use for making an Advent calendar. So let me go ahead and show you how I made the boxes. So when I came up with this, I thought, well, how big do I want to make my boxes? And I came up with 2 inches at first. So this is a 2-inch box here. And I thought, oh, that's way too big. And then I made a 1-inch here, and I thought, oh, that's way too small. And then I made a 1.5, and I went, you know, let's take it up a bit. And I decided to do a 1.75. But you can see that these are all, I mean, they're all good sizes. I didn't even finish this one. I just kind of, you know, left it. But this is, the 2 inch is definitely too big. You can see how big that was. And then the 1 inch, it was definitely too small. So the 1.75 is what I came up with. And how you can do your own custom box size, or any box for anything. And it's just a square box. And all these boxes, and I'll pull one out for you here, is a box frame like this one with another box in it. And the other box in it is just a little bit smaller than the larger one. So I'll use this one right here. So you can see how they're 2 boxes and they just fit in like that. So if you wanted to make, and just do a square here, and if you wanted to make them like 3 inches, you're gonna have your basic pattern here, because these are the ends that fold up, okay? If you want your box to be 3 inches, you're gonna have to do 3 inches here, and 3 inches here, 3 inches here, and 3 inches there. So the paper that you're gonna need is 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. So you're going to need a 9 by 9. Now what I did on my particular one is I did my square, and I wanted 1.75 for the bottom. The bottom is going to be a little bigger than the top. So 1.75 by times 3, 1.75 times 3 equals 5 1/4. So I know my big box is going to be 5 1/4. Now my smaller box, which just has to be a little smaller than that, is 1 5/8 times 3 equals 4 7/8. So that's how big I made these boxes. Now let me show you how we cut them. So I've got 2 pieces of DS paper. Now, here's the thing about paper and us doing these boxes. Now, you could have done like an origami type of box, and you could have used like cardstock, but it makes it really thick like this, and it's too big and it's unusable because origami paper is really super thin. But even if you try it with DS paper, which I did with this old DS paper here, it still is too big. And this way is like stupid easy. So we have 2 pieces. One is cut 5 1/4. This one's 5 1/4, and this one's cut 4 7/8. Now with this 5 1/4, since these are all 1/7/5s, we're going to take our cutter here and we're going to go to 1/7/5 and we're going to score it. Now DS paper isn't as durable as regular cardstock, so don't score too hard. Just kind of get that in between too hard and too soft. So that's 1/7/5, and then I'm going to do it all the way around. This is the second side, this is the third side, and this is the fourth side here. Now, as I'm scoring this fourth side, I'm going to go ahead and keep the paper in here, and I'm going to take the cutting part and I'm going to cut all the way up to that score line. And you can see on the Stamparatus cutter here, there are lines on the side of your cutter that can tell you really where to stop. And of course, you can always lift up and look. So I'm going to just go a tiny bit more. And then I'm not going to cut here. I'm going to pull it all the way to the top and do the same thing down to that other score line. So I cut here and I cut here, and I left this uncut in the middle. Now I'm going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to turn it around. So that cut part is on my right now. And I'm going to go 1/7/5. And I'm going to go up first to that score line. You can check it just a tiny bit more. And then down to the other score line. Okay, so this in the middle is uncut. So I've got cuts here, right? And nothing in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put this one to the side. That's the top. My bottom is 4 7/8 because I made it a little smaller than this one here. So the top one is 1.75 times 3, 5 1/4, and then I scored them 1.75. Okay, the bottom is 4 7/8, which is just a little smaller than that. It's 1 5/8 times 3 is 4 7/8. So the inserted box is going to be 1 5/8, and we're going to score that. And then we're going to go 1 5/8, 1 5/8, and 1 5/8. And on this last score one where we do 1 5/8, I'm going to take my cutter and I'm going to go up to that score line there. Just a little bit more. And then I'm going to go to the top and go down to the other score line. And I'm going to take it and turn it. So those cut pieces are here. Okay, I'm going to put it right back in. 1 5/8. And I'm going to cut it up to the score line. Okay, I'm going to go to the top, go down to the other score line, like so. All right, so that's how you score and cut. Now grab your silicone craft sheet. If you don't have one, go to the description of my video. Next to the title, click on the little arrow or the show more, whatever. It brings down everything I use in the video, including non-Stampin' Up items like my glass here, because I'm an Amazon affiliate. So anything that Stampin' Up doesn't sell, I have links for, and it helps out my small business. I get a little kickback. Even if you don't order anything, literally if you click on it and you're logged into your Amazon account, I get credit for you for a while. So it's kind of really nice. So anyway, back to this. So we've got our two pieces. Here's our box, our bottom box. So on the side where it's cut, not this side where the middle isn't cut, but this side right here, you're going to lay it on your silicone craft sheet, and two of the tabs we're going to snail. So not the third one, so I'm going to just lift that up just to show you what it is. So I'm just doing the first two. I'm not taping this tab right here. And then turn it to the other side and tape another two. And it doesn't matter which two, just as long as you're doing the middle. So in the middle, in the left or the right, it doesn't matter. Okay. And then I probably should have done this first, but you need to score it. So, but that's okay, because I've got my silicone craft sheet, and if I lay it down on this, that tape won't stick. That's the great thing about the craft sheet. So look, I'm laying it down, grabbing my scoring thing. Now, again, you don't want to score this too hard because you don't want that paper to rip, because it's not like super durable paper. It's DS paper. It's a little thinner than what we're used to. So I'm going to lay it on my silicone craft sheet because I accidentally snailed first. So do that first and then snail. Don't do what I just did. Do as I say, not as I do. Anyway, so I've got this. Now, I want this on the outside, so I'm going to curve everything in. And it doesn't matter which side you scored, really. You can turn it over and use this side. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to take these three cut sides again here, and I'm going to put them down, and I'm going to put the middle one up. And the two tapes. So this is taped, and this one's taped. So tape on tape. Tapey and tapey. Tapey, tapey, tapey. This one does not have any tape, but this side does. So we're going to take my non-taped side and put it on the taped side. So that's that. Now on the other side, do the same exact thing. Here's a taped piece, and here's the tape flap here. We're going to line it up. Tape on tape. Tapey, 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 tapey. And then the non-taped part, we're going to put together, and boom, we got a bottom or a middle or whatever you want to call it. Now we've got the inside box, the one that goes inside here. First thing we're going to do, unlike the one I started over there, is I'm going to fold these. So I went ahead and just pinch fold the part that doesn't have any cuts here in the middle. But the ones that do have the flaps, I am going to take the bone folder and give them a little score across, just because. But the other ends, I don't think they need it. So I'm going to fold these over and just bone fold it across, okay? Now, what's funny, when I made these, to do for the video, I made the same exact mistake that I made when I started making all those boxes. And when you start making all these boxes, my recommendation to you is make one complete box. Do it correctly first, one complete box. And then start an assembly line. And what you should do is take the bottom or the inside or the outside of the box and, cut the sizes first. And then score them. And then cut them. Do them all at once. Cut, do them all. Score, do them all, cut the ends, do them all, tape, do them all. Because what's funny is the mistake I made when I was doing this last night when I was creating the box is this inside measurement for the inside box here is 1 5/8 times 3 equals 4 7/8. What I was doing just now, I did it on camera, that same mistake. I was thinking 1 7/8 the whole time instead of 1 5/8. And of course I scored it wrong. So it's 1 5/8. If you're going to use my formula, you got to make those score lines 1 5/8. And it's confusing because the whole total is 4 7/8, and you might have 7/8 on your brain like I did twice. That's really, that's a sign of intelligence when you make a mistake twice. And that's what I'm going with, and I'm sticking with it. Anyway, so I've got the correct one cut at 1 5/8 because, yeah. Anyway, and I'm going to pull this tab up. And these are the ones that are all cut here. But 2 of them, I'm going to snail, right? And then I'm going to turn it over, pull one of those flaps up, just so you don't make a mistake, and only snail the 2, okay? And then when we go to do the box, you go tapey on tapey. So you flip the middle one up, and this tab here, which is also taped, tape on tape, tape on tape, tape on tape, and put those together, and then line up the one that's not taped. Turn it around, and it's tape up, and then tape the one that's taped, that flap, and the one that isn't taped on that flap. All right, and guess what? We just made our box. And if you have a circle punch, Stampin' Up! Doesn't have a little circle punch, but you could take a circle punch and then just put a little half moon circle here, just grab it. But since my sizes are good, I have no problem pulling this out at all. I mean, on any of these, I just didn't have that issue of pulling it out. So I even thought, like I put the matte black embellishment here, that I could use that as a little handle, but it's like, nah. Or I even thought about using a brad and using the brad as a little handle, but it's like, I don't think they actually need it. So that's how you make the box. Now, before I show you how I actually put them together and how I backed this, because that's actually really important, I'll show you the fun part first. So on each one of these boxes, I put the number for the Advent right here. So this is 24. And like on this one, I took that laser cut thing, and these are like little, kind of like wood pieces, but they're not wood, but they're something. And I took my like dark cherry cobbler Stampin' Blend, and I colored it like a bunch of times because this stuff will drink in the color. So just layer on that color really good, and then turn it over and then push it out. So you could take take your pick tool and push them out on the other side. So just push them out like that, because if you try to pop them up the other way or try to push them down here, this might, poke your piece, or it might break. But just be really careful. Like I did break one of the stars. So just, so that's what I did, as I colored over and then I just snailed it on. I used snail. This is the only one that I used Santa's Delivery and used a little penguin, because that penguin rocks. So there's a little penguin. Here's one with the stars from that laser cut piece I just showed you. Here's another one with the star there. Not all the letters fit, obviously. I did snow here from that laser cut. This just has those star embellishments from the suite. These things are fantastic. This is actually from one of the pieces in the Memories and More. There was these little candy canes, and I just fussy cut it. And then if anything, you can always use red rhinestone basic jewels, which are my favorite. This was one of the stickers from that kit. This was a sticker from the kit, and then I took one of the pieces off the card and just fussy cut it off and just snailed it on here. This one also has a tag. This one has Joy from the laser cut pieces. This is the gifts from this card. I didn't use a DS paper because it was just too connected, but I used a card that did really well. I used Noel. Here's another card piece of trees. Oh, I lied. Here, look. This is the die cut from Santa's Delivery of the wreath and the bow. Here's another tag from the stickers. This, I pulled out a bunch of my embellishments. Like this one is the gold adhesive back swirls. This is from that temporary one. If you can only get these for through the end of November, if they stick around, as part number 161822. All the part numbers for everything I use go to the description of the video. All my Stampin' Up links are there. You can even click on the link and it'll go directly to my Stampin' Up site. I also used these adhesive back seasonal sequins. This is in the mini catalog. And this one is the gold one. There's gold, kind of red. It's more of a poppy parade. Green, probably a garden green or something. Anyway, and then I put my red rhinestone basic jewels in the middle, and that one turned out really well. This is from a card. This is the sticker, and I put Jolly here in the top. So, and then and I'll show you this now, and I'll show you when I get to the structure of it. I also used from the suite the what do they even call this? Iridescent trim. And I thought this was just a little too big for a card unless you're hand delivering it. It's a little chunky. And how I put this on is with tear tape. So let me show you how to do the structure, and then you'll get what I'm talking about. So here's the back of the Advent calendar. And what I did is I took the boxes and I started lining them up on a piece of cardboard. Now this cardboard here is from the gold foil sheets. It's that piece of cardboard they give you. I keep all this cardboard stuff. I don't know about you, but it's all kept. So I did one originally. I put all the boxes on a piece of cardboard, and then I took a pencil and I traced it, and then I cut it out. But in order to cut that out, I had to use my heavy duty cutter. Now, this is my Caterpillar Glow glass, and it's actually a light board as well. But I also have a heavy duty cutter, and I'll put this in the link of the video. There should be an Amazon link. And this is for cutting my big stuff. Like, I cut my magnets for my dies on this thing. You do not want to use your Stampin' Up cutter to cut this really thick piece of cardboard. And, you know, this is the stuff that came from the foil. So it's not like super, you know, industrial cardboard. It's just cardboard. So I had to use this. Now, if you use the cardboard, it's going to be really super sturdy and it's not going to go anywhere. But I decided that even though I had this all cut out, that I was going to actually use the cardboard that comes with the DS paper. And it's not really cardboard, it's just heavy paper. And so instead of using this, I used that. Now, if you noticed, when I cut this, it was really rough, and that's okay, because you would trim it after you decorate it up. You can just trim that off. So, but this is basically what your piece is going to look like. So you're going to line up your boxes, and I have 3, and then 6, and then 5, and then 4, and then 3, and then 2, and then 1. Now, if you notice, I've got my box all the way to the edge of this cardboard, but my Advent goes a little taller, and that's okay. It's going to end about right here. And using this particular piece of DS paper is awesome because it's so busy that even though I pieced a little tiny piece on top, you can't tell. It's totally, you know, invisible. So, like I said, take your piece, and I decided to end up using this because everybody should have it, and I can cut it with my Stampin' Up cutter. So do the same thing with this piece. Put your white piece on the bottom, take a pencil and trace around the piece, and then you're going to fussy cut it. Or you could try to use your cutter. I think I just went ahead and used scissors and just go right to the lines. And if it goes over a little bit, it's fine. So trace this piece and then cut it out. So let's pretend this is that white piece. Now, like I said, this is what I kind of recommend, and this is what I used for mine, and it's fine. So whatever piece you're going to put on the back of your calendar, get it out and turn it over and snail it to the cardboard. And it, like I said, it's going to be a little short, but that's okay. So snail that on there and just fussy cut this out to the side, and this is what you'll have on the back. So just go ahead and mark it or trace it around and snail it on, and you got it. Once you have your piece with the DS paper on the back, you're going to take your boxes and you're going to start lining them up onto your back piece. Now, if you notice here, I put the first 3 on the bottom. So if these were my first 3, I'm going to snail them with, of course, the openings like this. Okay. And go ahead and take these out. And I would line them up first. So just so you know how it all looks. And then the second row, you're going to go, okay, so there's 3. So my halfway point is going to be right here. There's 6. So I know halfway is going to be in the middle of this box. So when you know basically how comfortable you're going to be putting these together, take this off and put some tear tape down. Put 3 pieces of tear tape down and affix the boxes to the tear tape. Okay? And then take another piece of tear tape, like 2 pieces of tear tape, and then put them on the tops right here. And what that'll do is when you pick this up, it won't go flopping. So it'll all be like connected to each other. So tape them down here, tape them open like that, push down in the middle, put some tear tape on top all the way across the 3. And then you're going to take 3 more, your rest of your boxes. So the next row is 6. So I know my first 2 are going to hit the middle here. So I've got this tear tape down. I'm going to put the 2 in the middle of that box in the middle on the first row and then go out. And then I'm going to take more tear tape. On every row that you do, you put that tear tape on the top. So you connect these together on the top. Otherwise, when you pick it up, it'll go like that. So you have to tear tape those together and just lay them across the top. So I've got 3, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and just go all the way up. And it really, really looks nice. Now, the last part is what I was showing you before with the iridescent, what do they call this? Iridescent trim. This really kind of big, thick, I don't know, trim. So when you're done putting your boxes on, you're going to take tear tape and you're going to put tear tape here and here, and then here and then here. And as you're going, push that trim on there really good, and get that tear tape on the bottom as far as you can go on that bottom, and then try to get that trim in that corner really well and really push on it because it likes to come up, and give it enough slack so if it pulls up a little bit, you can push it down. And that's basically it. This was like a really cool little craft. And once you get the boxes done, you can let your kids go at it and decorate the outsides. That was the funnest part. And like I said, it does stand up all by itself. And the boxes pull out really easily, and you can put something in it. And like I said, with the measurement I used, it was a lot better than this little teeny tiny one. And it wasn't like ginormous like this 2-inch one. So 1.75 worked out the best. And it's a cute little advent calendar. So anyway, that will do it for me. Thanks. Bye.